UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me are my co-hosts Justin and Brandon for some conversation about the fantastic Star Trek Day 2021 that we saw yesterday. Justin, how are you doing?
Doing great, yeah. Very excited to talk about all this wonderful news. So much good stuff.
Yeah, very exciting. Brandon?
Oh boy.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. This is an exciting day of news.
It is indeed. So we've got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time, so we're just going to real quick say what you often hear us say at the beginning, always hear us say at the beginning, which is we'd like to thank our Patreon patrons, particularly our associate producers, David Willett and, of course, Justin Oser. And we would love to have you as a patron as well. You can check all of that out at patreon.com/UFPEarth. So, all right. Well, first off, I will say, if you didn't get to watch this live, it is on demand on Paramount Plus and on Paramount Plus's YouTube page. So you can go in and experience all of the wonderful 3.5 hours. You can fast forward through the bits on the red carpet in the middle.
Yeah.
Although watch the red carpet at the beginning, that was kind of cute. All right, so let's start with Prodigy. We got a trailer. We got a release date, 28 October. What are we thinking? Justin, I know you're looking forward to this like crazy. So, not that Brandon's not, and not that I'm not, but, you know. What do you think?
I'm really looking forward to this show. Really like what we saw in the trailer. You know, we saw the animated Janeway in action for the first time, which is so exciting, and got a bit of a sense of the characters and kind of where they're at, and I just love it. I'm just really looking forward to it. As we talked about it, you know, it's meant for let's say early teens or around there, but I think there's going to be a lot for us to love here, and it's just wonderful. Like, I want to see the show right away. It's exciting. It's coming soon. They're going to give us a whole week break between Lower Decks and and Prodigy. Yeah. And when we talk about Discovery, we'll be talking about how they'll be making that up. But just really excited. Love, the characters and like everything you see on the ship. And it's just, it looks wonderful. Animation looks beautiful. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Brandon, your thoughts?
I'm pretty excited. I watched the trailer a couple of times. I watched it with each of my kids. And, they're not really into Star Trek that much. Like, they kind of were for a little bit, and then they weren't, and then it's kind of been off and on. But I showed them the trailer for this, and they're pretty excited, and I think we're going to give it a try as a family, like all the kids and whatnot.
Yes.
Nice.
They all gave it the thumbs up. They all thought it looked pretty good, so... I'm excited to share it with them, and I tweeted out. I tweeted Kate Mulgrew had a tweet, and I responded to her and said, Kate, like, I'm excited to be sharing this with my kids. This looks great. So
nice.
I'm pretty stoked.
That's so great to hear, because that means, at least so far they've been successful in getting, their target audience interested, at least in your house. So
yeah.
That's very cool. So one of the things I was thinking about as I was watching this trailer is I think we found out in some other material that there's this guy, the diviner, who's trying to get this starship back, and he's a villain, and that I think it was referred to as like his creation, Gwyn, and Gwyn is a main character on the show. And just as I was watching it, I was like, what's going on with her? I really don't know. Another interesting thing, there's a Kazon in this trailer.
Yeah.
So,
I thought so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but yeah, the Trek movie had a screen cap, and it's definitely a Kazon, which is pretty interesting because we haven't, I guess, really seen them in live action, or maybe even in like Lower Decks, like since Voyager early season 3 when we kind of left them behind. So
yeah,
I think So it's pretty interesting. And I think elsewhere we had found out that they're kind of voyaging toward the Alpha Quadrant, and that I think we found out in the title sequence they have like this third nacelle, and people were speculating maybe it's quantum slipstream, maybe it makes wormholes on demand, which would be pretty interesting. So yeah, I think we're in for quite the interesting ride with this one. Really excited about it.
Yeah.
It looks really interesting. It's the dialogue and the tone of it is a little younger than I was hoping it was going to be. Like I was hoping it'd be closer towards Clone Wars, as I've said on here a few times, but that's not deterring me from watching it at all. I mean, there was the Star Wars Renegades, I think it was called, that was, kind of along this lines, and it kind of feels like that for tone right now. But it's just visually stunning, and I'm so looking forward to it. If they're coming back from the Delta Quadrant towards the Alpha Quadrant, I bet you at some point in the run of the show we're going to get at least one Neelix cameo.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Ambassador Neelix at your service.
Yes.
I would love that. Yeah, and I mean they've talked about bringing in more Voyager characters, so we'll see. I think somebody commented this is feeling more and more like a bit of a sequel to Voyager, and I'm totally okay with that because I love Voyager.
Yeah.
But looks good. Looks
I
really
just
good.
think that's fascinating that a Kazon's there. Like, of all the species they could have grabbed, I think that's pretty neat. I'm not a big fan of the Kazon, but I love this as a history grab.
Maybe they'll get redeemed in the way that the Ferengi were kind of redeemed in DS9, and maybe it'll be more complex, interesting Kazon. We don't know.
What if we get like that's
a tall order.
Since it's designed for young kids, what if we get the one that Aaron Eisenberg played? What if we get that Kazon?
Oh, that would be interesting. Well, who would voice them? But that would be interesting. Yeah, I was thinking about like the adversaries in the Delta Quadrant, and maybe the Kazon are ones that could be a bit villainous without being too scary. I feel like the Hirogen would be like too scary, or the Borg might be a little too scary. But who knows?
I'm looking forward to the episode where we get the Vidians and they steal one of the kids' lungs. Like I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh.
Yeah. And the episode where one of them dies and doubts the afterlife, and probably not. Yeah.
If this were the 80s, you made me just think of there'd be like some kind of PSA at the end of it, like on G.I. Joe, and it would be about watching out for people who are going to steal your kidneys and leave you in a tub of ice.
Yeah, love it.
Boy. Yeah. Let's file that in the category of unlikely for this show.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah,
for sure.
It should be really interesting. And it's coming soon, just a little over 6 weeks or so, yeah.
I will.
A little over a month.
I will definitely put out there my prediction that we will see 0 Vidians on this show.
Yes, I endorse that. I think we will see 0 Vidians. It's a bit too dark for this show, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if we do, it'll be like, hey, that person's a Vidian and they cured themselves, and it's not going to have any,
They discovered...
It won't work anyway because the kids won't know, so...
They discovered penicillin.
Yeah.
Wow.
If only.
Be quite the twist if that solves it all. Anyway, but yes, this is totally exciting, and it was cool to get trailer and release date. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And listeners, all of the links for the trailers and all of this are in the show notes. So if you haven't had a chance to watch these, you can pause us, hop over to YouTube, watch it, come back, and keep listening. Or listen to us and then go back and watch it. So.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else we want to say about Prodigy?
I got kind of some tingles down the spine when Kate Mulgrew's voice started.
Yes, that was amazing. I was like, it's her real voice. I know she looks different animated, but it's her voice. We get more Kate Mulgrew. And I've been rewatching Voyager lately. And it's like more Janeway content, even though it's a hologram, but still definitely cool to hear her again.
I liked how the kid was like, what is that? If you think about it, if you've never seen a hologram before.
Maybe they haven't if they've just been on this prison planet or something for a while. Yeah.
So, it's cool.
Very cool.
All right. So, we will be talking about that in a month and a couple of weeks. Yay. And then, what is that? 4 weeks? 3 weeks after that? We'll be talking about Discovery.
Yeah.
Because we found out yesterday that the release date is the 18th of November.
So,
yeah. So we're going to be doubled up, but that's okay. We'll make it work.
I'm surprised we didn't get a trailer for Discovery.
Somehow. Yeah, I was going to mention that. There was a lot of discussion about why wasn't there a trailer, but...
they had a trailer for basically every other new show that was there in one form or another.
Kinda.
And we'll talk about that. But we've already gotten like teaser plus kind of full trailer for Discovery Season 4. I think we'll probably get another one in the run-up to November. So, yeah, I would have liked to have seen one, but... I think it's fine. But yeah, this is going to be the first time since 1999 that you have two new shows airing at the same time. So we didn't have podcasting back then, so we'll have to double up on it. But it'll be a lot of fun. So I guess they'll be together for, I don't know, like 6 weeks or something like that. But definitely sooner than I would have anticipated, because I think we were thinking, oh, maybe they'll fit it in like late December or something like that. Nope. November 18th. Which is fine, yeah. There was one other thing I picked up from the discussions and how Wilson Cruz was introduced as both doctor and counselor. So he's kind of been doing some of that, but it kind of formalized the kind of counseling role that he has, which I think will be pretty interesting for this season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I really like that, because you get the feeling like he was leaning that way when he was talking to Cornwall.
Yeah.
And like he was feeling out maybe how she functioned with that, and if that fit well with who he was and his training and his experiences. So I like that. I think that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, I think his character's changed enough that he seems to be like more of a, like, I don't know, like the word that I want to say is soft, but that has like, I don't know if that has bad connotations or not. Like, like Deanna Troi is like, she's empathic.
Empathetic.
That's probably, empathetic is probably a better word that I'm looking for. That character's kind of felt like he's taken that direction. So I think it's a good choice for him.
Yeah, definitely. And those are some of the things I've loved kind of lately with Colbert, maybe especially season 3, where even in I think there's at the top of one of the episodes in season 3 where he has like a log entry where he's just talking about how everybody's trying to adjust to this and how difficult, but he understands and he's had to deal with these difficult things before and going back from the dead and all that. So I think it's pretty interesting where that's going. And I was surprised, but I was also pleased, like, oh, they're going to kind of formalize that he's a counselor for the ship. But I guess, other than they have new uniforms and they're out there doing stuff and there's a gravitational anomaly, we don't know a whole lot about season 4 at this point, do we?
No.
But maybe they're just trying to keep it close and surprise us with some stuff. So, but I'm excited about that we'll get Discovery sooner than we thought. And for the challenge of podcasting about 2 shows at once. I mean, also, like, I talked with my wife about this and she was like, so are they releasing them on different days? I'm like, no, they're both going to be on Thursdays. So they'll just drop them all at once and we got to, watch them. And but it's fine. It's great that we have this much stuff. It's just very interesting.
I didn't even think about that with the different days. That would have been too easy.
Yeah, no, but like if you look at the dates, November 18th is a Thursday. So and so
as is 20th of October.
Yeah, so that's kind of the day. But no, it'll be good. Definitely looking forward to it. Excited for what we'll see. You put something in the outline about familial energy with Culber, Stamets, Adair, and Gray, because the actors who play those characters were on the red carpet. It was really cool. It was like they were like a little family, and that was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that dynamic as well.
Speaking of that, they did allow the spoiler, I guess you could say, that Gray is going to end up corporeal at some point.
Yeah, I think we had kind of assumed that anyway, but yeah.
Well, he said they were going to fulfill on that promise, so, because you figure that, but you don't know.
I don't know, sure. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. So anyway, very, very cool. So
yeah,
Discovery, bring it on too.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. This is, I have to say, this is the first time with the timing on this that I kind of wish they were dropping the whole or like half the season, because it's the week before Thanksgiving. Well, yeah, I don't. I like the break, but I'm looking at that and going, wow, instead of going Black Friday shopping, I could just binge new Discovery, and
That's
that
true.
would be fun.
We've probably talked about it before, but I very much prefer the week-to-week approach where we can analyze them week to week. Also, think about it. If they dropped a whole season, like, what do we do? Like, 1 episode, 10 episodes on that? Like, I wouldn't I wouldn't even know how to deal with that because we're just so used to doing it week to week. And also because I try to avoid like spoilers and discussion, it's easy if you just watch something for an hour, but if it's like 10 hours, I'm like, okay, when am I going to find the time to do this? Dropping on a work day, you know? So I don't know. I'm okay with it being week to week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
Got all sorts of new information about this, and I am super excited.
Yes.
First off, we got a confirmation on number 1, Una's surname, which is apparently Chin Riley.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, surely that's deliberate and there's maybe some kind of story there. Because I noticed Rebecca Romaine, I think, in that video, which was kind of part first look, part trailer. It was interesting, but it was cool because you could see what they look like and some of the things they were doing. But she said something like number 1 is more complex than you know. So I think we're definitely going to get some interesting backstory and the name might be part, or it might not, you know. But I thought that was cool. Because before we just knew her as Una from the books in Discovery Season 2. So. And
barely that.
Yeah.
So, what you think, Brandon?
I'm pretty stoked about this. You know, especially I didn't realize this, but I was messaging our friend Zach afterwards that we're going to have 2 characters played by Majel Barrett on the show at the same time, right?
Yes.
Chapel and number 1, and I didn't realize that, but I think that's cute. But I'm really intrigued with the legacy characters that they've decided to throw into this show, with having Cadet Uhura, having Chapel and Mabenga, those are all great characters that we didn't get a lot of. But I'm just curious as to why they didn't go with some of the characters that we'd already seen, like Boyce, right? Dr. Boyce. And, there's a new helmswoman there. And it's like, I mean, we had the character of Jose Tyler that's been established on the show and whatnot. I'm just curious as to why they've made some of the choices that they made. I'm not concerned or anything. I'm just curious.
I tend to think that it's something deliberate for the purposes of where they might want to go or who they might want to kind of investigate for that. But
also, when does this take place? Like, we don't even know when this show takes place. Is this pre-Discovery Season 2 or post-Discovery Season 2, right? We don't know. Probably post.
I'd guess post-Discovery Season 2. But you're right. We don't even know when it takes place. So, but yeah.
If it's post-Season 2, which I think if they weren't going to do that, it would put them in a very difficult position in terms of timing. Because at some point they will butt up against that. So putting it after makes more sense.
I would think so,
And that works with Dr. Boyce not being there. If you read Dr. Mbenga as replacing him or coming on staff, because you kind of get the impression that what little bit we see of him that he's ready for retirement.
Seems like
and the way Pike is talking to him as that idea of, hey, you're thinking about retiring, I'm thinking about doing something different with my life. So that would make sense to me. And it made sense that Chapel would already be on the ship. We don't know when she started serving on the Enterprise, but there's no reason that she had to come on with Kirk's round of crews. So that works.
Yeah.
See, the thing about Chapel, though, so I don't I didn't have time to look this up because things have happened so quickly and I've had a lot to do around the house and whatnot. But
it's not even been 24 hours.
The thing with Chapel being on here is, again, with us not knowing when this takes place, Discovery was what did we determine Discovery was? 10 years before the TOS?
Roughly. I mean, I think really it's what you see in the first 2 seasons is between 2255 and 58. Because I think the first 2 episodes are in 55 and then it goes to 56, 7. It's somewhere in that range.
Yeah. And So Next Generation, or sorry, TOS is basically the first episode. I think they've established is 2264, and then the rest of it is 2266. Like there's a gap between.
There is somewhat of a gap. I thought the first one was 65, but
something like that.
Anyway, 5-6 years. Yeah.
So so that's about 8 years then. Okay, so 66 to 58 is about 8 years.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's because when we see Chapel in season 1, that's about an 8-year difference. And I don't remember in What Are Little Girls Made Of, but she fled to Starfleet because of Dr. Corby, right? So, I think they gave a time in What Are Little Girls Made Of, and I didn't have time to look it up. So I don't know if we want to look it up live or whatnot.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah.
Something that I was thinking
I knew you would be.
What it says.
I
have it here.
Go ahead.
What's established in that episode, I'm just reading from Memory Alpha. Following her fiance's disappearance on the planet Exo-3 around 2261, she abandoned a career in bioresearch for a position in Starfleet in the hopes that a deep space assignment one day reunite her with Corby. So
timeline-wise, when does this take place? I'm going to be watching for that. And, there's going to be a lot of Star Trek fans who are going to watch for stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we've got a date that's been established, an approximate date even, there's going to be people who care about that kind of thing. And, online can tell people to just shut up and take the new stuff as much as they want. I'll be a type of person who's going to care if that's going to break what's been established before, because that kind of stuff is important to me. So, but I mean, I'm excited to see her. Okay. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Uhura. We've seen in books that we've established that Uhura was on the Enterprise under Pike, right? We just recently read that book by Christopher L. Bennett, right? And I mean, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, well, why did they authorize that book from Christopher L. Bennett if they knew this was coming, right? Because they do work, the tie-in fiction works pretty close hand in hand. So I'm hoping this doesn't contradict too much with the book. But I mean, they talked about stuff that Uhura did when she was a cadet in that book, right? And I know the books are not canon, right? But I mean, hopefully I'll be able to get to ask this question of Una McCormick when we get to it, but they paused the autobiography of Mr. Spock for 3 years.
Yes, they did.
And we got a completely different writing of this book because of what was coming in Discovery. At least we can assume that, right? So
I think so.
So I was just surprised to see Uhura. I'm happily surprised to see Uhura, especially since that book just came out. So
what
was that book called again?
Well,
Living Memory.
Living Memory.
Which,
so good.
again, is a great book. Listeners, you should read it. But I was excited about all of this, but I think I was particularly excited about Uhura, partly because, we just read about her in Living Memory, and she had a great story and background and all of that. But I'm reading another book right now that's also about Uhura, much later in time. It's one of the Lost Era books from 2360, when she's 120 years old and head of Starfleet intelligence. So for me, I've been reading more about her because, she was great in the original series and had some good things to do, but there could have been a lot more. And this is the opportunity to explore more for her character and who she is, which I've really enjoyed in the books. And now we get to do that on screen. So I think that's just a wonderful thing to think about. Also, I think, I forget who it was, maybe it was Trekcore, noticed she has the cadet badge, similar to what Tilly has. Yeah. And I think that shows the 4 bars, she's 4th year cadet. So it could be in the first season, and then she graduates or becomes an ensign or something next season, which is cool. Yeah, I just love thinking about that. So I was excited about that. But there was a couple of other things I wanted to talk about for the characters. But go ahead.
Just a second, because I wanted to just say, the stuff that's in Living Memory could pretty easily be reconciled on screen, because a lot of it she did while she was on vacations. So we don't necessarily have to know that. We could just assume that that's going on and never see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the books aren't canon. I'm just surprised that they would have authorized that book when they would have known at the time that this was happening. That's all. It's just surprised.
Yeah,
on that.
It is quite interesting.
Well, it might reinforce it.
And yeah. Who knows?
And as for the thing with Chapel, if they have to tweak that a couple of years, if they say, 58 instead of 61, I think that might be the best way for them to deal with it if they're going to keep that. If they hadn't said Nurse Chapel, if they had just said that Chapel was going to be on board, then I would say, she could just be a civilian biologist there. So, maybe. Right, I had put my 2 cents in, just in the other
Okay, so
characters.
sorry, no, before we get to that,
You're so excited about.
Because I was just reading about in memory beta about some of the stuff that's been established in the novels. Oh, that was in a comic, but it says Uhura entered Starfleet Academy in 2257. So I don't know, maybe it is early 2260s or something. Okay, regardless, other characters. So another one. I mean, the legacy characters are great, but there are some new characters, and one I was particularly excited about is a character named Hemmer, which is played by Bruce Horek, I think it's pronounced, but is an Enar. Pretty sure about that because it has the pale complexion. It seems like the eye color that you usually see. And the Enar is established in the Enterprise trilogy that starts with United. They're blind, they're ice dwelling, they're telepathic, and they get a really interesting arc
subspecies,
in that. Andorian subspecies, exactly, yeah. So we haven't really seen them anywhere else, and now we're going to get a more prominent character with that. And also the actor who plays Hemmer is also blind himself, which is very cool, And we have had something like that in Star Trek before because, what was it? The
Loud as a Whisper.
Loud as a Whisper, thank you. The ambassador is blind there and is played by a blind actor, which is very cool. So
no, he's mute.
He's
deaf mute.
That's
deaf
right.
actor.
He's deaf.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Totally forgetting that. But anyway, it was a match in representation there. You're right. He was a deaf actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is cool just to see the Enar and somebody, who's blind playing a character who's blind. I don't know. I just like, this is really cool to kind of build that out. And also it seemed like the Enar, when we saw them in Enterprise, were dwindling in numbers. So what is it like for them at this point?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think this is really fascinating. We haven't had, I know this is an Enar, but I mean, that's still an Andorian, right? We haven't had an Andorian as a main character on a show.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping
definitely.
this person's a main character, right? I mean, like, we've had announcements on actors before, like when they announced Rainn Wilson as Harry Mudd, and like everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to see Mudd in every episode," and we didn't see Mudd in every episode. It was just a secondary character. But I hope this person is a main character.
I hope so too. I mean, if you think of what we've tended to have in Star Trek series since TNG of like 7 kind of characters that are main characters named in the credits, it could be Pike, Number One, Spock, Uhura, Mbenga, Chapel, and Hemmer, maybe. So that would be cool. Yeah.
Super excited. And what I think it's awesome that we're getting this kind of representation on screen.
Yeah.
As of this recording here, we just had dropped yesterday on Franchise Fatigue our episode on Godzilla versus Kong, and there's a deaf actress in there that plays the little girl Gaia, right? And I think that's fantastic. On Mandalorian, they had a deaf actor play one of the Tusken Raiders when they were on Tatooine. It's great to get this representation, and I think it's wonderful to have that. Walking Dead has had a deaf character on it for a couple seasons. Like, I love seeing this on screen. It adds to the story, I think, by being able to be inclusive of these people that have a disability and showing representation on the screen. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Super excited for that because it was just a nice surprise. We didn't know what to expect for the other characters. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got Hemmer, and then we have Lieutenant Erica Ortega. Was the S silent or not? I can't remember.
I think it's Ortegas, but yeah, Ortegas, a completely new character. Don't know much about her, so we'll see.
Pretty much nothing. The only thing, the thing that immediately came to mind for me with her was the fact that Tasha was inspired by a character in Aliens, and I can't think of what her name is now.
Vasquez.
Vasquez, thank you, yeah. So I kind of just, the look of this character kind of reminded me of Vasquez.
Oh, so. Okay. Yeah, interesting. I mean, interested to see what happens with this character. We don't know. So. Yeah.
And then we have Brandon's favorite.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'll jump into this here. Okay, so this one here, I legit rolled my eyes when I heard this. Lon Noonien sing.
Brandon, it's pronounced La'an. It's not the same as Lon.
I didn't hear them say La'an. I heard Lon, right, when she mentioned
with the
it.
Apostrophe. But anyway, tell us why you don't like this choice.
Okay, so number one, the name frickin' rhymes with Khan. Is somebody just going to shout out, Lon? Like during an episode? Yeah, because that would be lame. But, I mean, this person is a crew member on the ship. Mm-hmm. They're wearing a red shirt, and the scene we see them with is chapel. So Spock just forgot to mention this when Khan Noonien Singh came on board. Like they just forgot about it. Like
I feel okay. I guess a couple of things about this. I feel like the people that are creating this show are very aware of other Star Trek where you've seen original series characters. So I'm sure if they're putting it forward this prominently, there will be some explanation or something related to it. I mean, but also, like, I think it's kind of intriguing to think about, you know, what the connection might, or there might not be a connection, right? Like, I don't know, Khan's sister had like a totally different line of people that went through the generations or whatever, like and just kept our brother, I don't know, to keep the name, but whatever. I mean, it seems related somehow, or maybe I'm not sure quite where they're going with it, but I'm just intrigued to find out more. I know you think it's lame, Brandon, but I'm intrigued that they made this choice very prominently, knowing that people would know what that means, that name means.
Yeah. So to me, that's what it feels like. So we've got the Borg Queen coming back for Picard, and we've got a reference to Khan. We don't know anything yet, okay? But I mean, hey, we're podcasters, and you people pay us to talk about this stuff, okay? So you pay us the big bucks to talk about this, and all we can do is speculate because all we had is a name. Obviously, I know nothing. Obviously, this could go anywhere, but they picked this name for a reason, and it feels like with them getting the Borg Queen and whatnot, they're like, oh, everybody loves the Borg Queen. We should get that in there because everybody will love it. Remember when everybody loved the Borg Queen? Remember when everybody loved Khan? We should have some kind of reference to Khan because everybody loves Khan. That's everybody's favorite movie, isn't it? Right? So we should do that. That's just what it feels like. Like, I love when they go for the deep cut references that aren't the obvious choices, and to pick for both of these shows, to pick the antagonist of what is the most popular movie for both series is just the low-hanging fruit. Now, obviously, we don't know anything, and I'm just speculating. That's my initial feelings off of what I saw there. So
okay,
we have out of all of the stuff we got on Star Trek Day, I think one thing is lame. That's a pretty good batting average, right? Like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm just like.
Yeah. No. I mean. Yeah. It's pretty good. I just think it's interesting because I feel differently about it. I'm not thinking about it's lame that they made this connection. I'm like, I want to see what the story reason is that they made that connection. Mm-hmm. And if the reason they did it is lame, I will say so. but I just don't know what it'll be yet. So, but I know this was like your one disappointment. And that's not bad because there was a whole bunch of stuff revealed. So, yeah.
So I'm just like, if this person is actually a relative of Khan Noonien Singh, why is Spock not mentioning anything when Khan Noonien Singh comes on the ship, right? So,
well, he's very logical, you know. He hasn't seen Khan himself. But anyway.
I mean, what is he going to say? Hey, your great-great-great-great-grandniece was on the ship a couple of years ago?
You know? I don't know.
There's something that it's dingling on the edge of my memory where they brought something up in one, like there's 800 and some episodes. I can't remember everything right off the bat. Where they're like, look, this person's great-grand relative or whatever is this, and they mention that person and went to them, right? So, maybe they're not on the ship anymore, but I mean, I know and I understand that this is written 55 years after Space Seas was written, okay? But again, this is like, if Chapel's continuity is not correct, this is going to upset some people, right? So, anyways, we got a long way to wait and find out what's going to happen with this. And it could be amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be damage to any of the continuity. First off, I didn't catch the rhyming bit until you mentioned it, and that is pretty lame. But
disagree. It doesn't
and
rhyme.
if there is somebody screaming "La'an," I hope it's like
again, guys. There's an apostrophe in there. It's La'an, but it's fine.
I realize that. But if somebody's screaming "La'an," I hope it's like a.
I don't think that.
Forgive me, listeners. Really don't. I hope it's in a context that it's like behind the door and she's having.
I don't
sex,
think anybody's going to scream.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's just unless it's Spock, right? So. Unless it's Spock, and then we get the callback to Inner Darkness. I'm kidding.
Well, I thought
I'm also kidding.
Anyway, let's just not forget how amazing it is to have a whole show taking place on Pike's Enterprise. So,
yes, and what I wanted to get at here was I think this is going to give a good opportunity to talk about guilt by association, and Is this somebody who's going to be reacted to because of her name in that way? Now, I realize, we're talking about wars that were 300 years ago. People don't necessarily know about those things unless they're historians. We do know historians knew who Khan was because McGivers, the historian that went with him.
Yeah, she knew about him.
She knew who he was before. She heard the name and she knew what was going on there. But to me, this is like, okay, so 200 years from now, there's going to be something going on, and there's going to be somebody with the last name Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, people.
And
might
then how do people
recognize that.
react to that if they know what that means?
But even today, if you think about, and this was about 300 years ago, if somebody had the name Napoleon or something like that, a lot of people would recognize, like, oh, that was this person that did all this stuff hundreds of years ago and seemed to be not so good for the world. It happens. But
well, the big issue there is how did the eugenics wars play out? Was it an underground war that we see, little bits and pieces of and people weren't necessarily aware of? Or was this like I know we had World War III, but it was this like a World War III and a half?
Well, he took over like 25% of the world, Khan did, right? So.
Yeah, but there's different interpretations of that because in one of them, isn't he like the power behind the thrones and he's manipulating what's going on? And the other one, it's him out front.
Well, we don't. Everything that's been
wrong
established has been in
Right,
the books,
so
right? We don't know.
yeah.
There's just
Yeah,
vague
we
things.
don't really know.
All
But-
that we know is that nobody knew they got off of Earth. Like it was like him escaping
Right.
Earth was off the books, right? So people didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's all that we know from the show. And while people knew who he was, I mean, you say guilt by association. I mean, part of that though, like there are people who change their names because of that, right? And so it also, like if this is a relative
Certainly.
and that happened. Right, it seems odd that somebody would keep their name even after somebody tried to take over the world, right? So why would they keep that family name?
Yeah.
So when you say guilt by association, so
Yeah, but let's see what happens.
so
Yeah, I can talk about this more time than we have.
Yeah,
But
we'll get
but
there.
and I will be talking about it because I can talk about Patrick Hitler and the family and what they did after the war. So.
Okay. We'll save that for the Chrissie's History Corner.
I will,
The first time you see La'an Noonien sing. Yeah.
There we go. All right. So super looking forward to Strange New Worlds. Don't have a date.
Not yet. Next year.
But
I was surprised with Strange
April?
New Worlds having finished production first that
Oh, that's
we're
right, you mentioned
getting
that.
Picard first. I'm surprised
Yeah,
with that.
but you had mentioned, Chrissy, for Picard, which we'll talk about in a minute. Picard Season 2, a lot of it's on 21st century Earth, so maybe it's not as intensive for, CGI and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. So that's the next thing. They dropped a mid-season trailer for Lower Decks, which I think was just because, like, hey, let's do this because it's on right now and let's have some fun. Because
Yeah.
I missed
I
this.
don't know why they did that.
I didn't see this.
Some crazy stuff happened. You'd probably think it's funny. The end.
Justin's super
Some crazy
stoked.
stuff happened that was funny and had no context. The end. No. Yeah, but they had Mike McMahon on with I don't have the actors in my head like I should. The guy that voices Rutherford and the woman who voices Tendi, and then they called Jerry O'Connell out from the crowd,
Yeah.
and so it was a cute
Yeah,
panel.
but-
It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, and for the trailer, they just flashed some stuff by, some of which we had seen before, like the Pandronian, which is the animated series species that's a colony creature that can separate apart. There was some Borg in there, looked like Mirror Universe stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just crazy stuff that we'll find out in the next few weeks.
Yeah. And listeners, we'll be talking about the episode that dropped today in a little bit, and then you can hear that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Plug for next time. So, I mean, Lower Decks, we'll be talking about that over the next couple of weeks. So, do you guys want to get into anything about that?
I think with the Picard trailer, just the Lower Decks one just kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that brings us to Picard.
Oh, what a
And the trailer.
What a great transition.
Yeah, you segue perfectly. And everybody's mind is blown. And Brandon, what do you think? I started with Justin before, so.
First thing I think is, of course, we got the high stakes again, that literally time is broken and they have to fix all of time. because
we have 3 days before the future is changed irrevocably.
I thought that was interesting. So does the whole season take place over 3 days, or is that just partway into the season they have 3 days left? I think it would be interesting if it was like the season takes place over 3 days and what that would be like. But
why do they only have 3 days if they can do time travel and whatnot? But we'll find that out later.
Q gave them a deadline.
That is an excellent question.
Yeah. I'm stoked. The trailer was like amazing and it blew my mind. I watched it like 4 times and like I was giddy and it gave me all the goosebumps. Like, I'm so stoked for this. So as I sit here and poke fun at a couple of things right off the bat, I am absolutely blown away by the trailer. That music was just amazing. I am so horny for this show right now.
Brandon, don't touch that horn on top of your head. But yeah. I never know what you're going to say sometimes. But yes, you are excited, which is good.
Yeah. Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this. May have mentioned it while I was looking some stuff up, but we know it's going to premiere in February of 2022, so very cool. A couple months after Discovery, maybe right after.
So I looked at the calendar, and if it starts the week after Discovery, it's going to be like the 17th of February. So either the 17th or 24th, if they give us a
Depends
week
on how many episodes of Discovery we are getting.
Didn't they say it was 13? I thought I heard somewhere it was 13.
Not necessarily. They haven't said how many. IMDb says 11. Okay, it's not necessarily accurate, but I guess we'll see how many we get. But yes, it seems like it might be right after Discovery. But just a couple of things. I think it's really interesting they're making this decision that they have to time travel to 21st century Earth. And I was trying to piece it out because I've only seen the trailer a couple of times. It seems like they're kind of switched over into an alternate timeline that has some kind of totalitarian, like fascist state. But then they go back to 21st century Earth, which maybe I'm assuming, isn't like that. And it's very much like our own time, and they have to do certain things to make sure that it doesn't push over into this kind of totalitarian state within a couple hundred years or something. I'm interested to see where they're going with that.
We don't live in a fascist state. Sorry.
I think there are tendencies, but I think as the strict definition, no. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I think it's like what I really liked about it a lot is something that I've liked about some of my favorite Star Trek, which is Star Trek 4 and Future's End, basically going into the present day as a mirror on that present day and how different it is from the Star Trek future. And I love those kinds of things because those are my favorite parts of Star Trek. And I love that we're going there with this and seeing what their kind of take is on today and what's happening today and what they have to do. Now, of course, the Borg Queen is in there, which we knew before, but I thought it was pretty interesting that there's a certain point where Picard says there are ways of traveling in time, and they go straight to the Borg Queen. Like, she's the connection to their time travel. So, I think there's lots of interesting stuff in this one that we're going to see soon. But yeah, I was very, very excited about it.
I'm less likely thinking that we're going to see Benjamin Sisko in this season.
Well... Yeah, okay. So, like, my theory's out the window about Wolf 359 and Locutus and whatever, fine.
Okay.
But they didn't say what year. Okay.
They didn't?
They're in... did they say specifically they're in Los Angeles, or did they just say...
It doesn't say it in the trailer, but I think they may have said it in a panel. I'm not sure, because I missed that panel, actually. But
because there's...
I mean, it's convenient because they film in Southern California. But...
Well, yeah. But there's some stills that were pulled that have signs for sanctuary districts.
Oh, interesting.
So,
yeah, I was going to mention that.
Are they in San Francisco?
We
know there were sanctuary districts all over the place. But
okay, I didn't see that. That's a cool connection. To past tense.
I didn't see it. It's like it's a little tiny thing behind Raffi's hand that somebody picked up on. And I don't remember who on Twitter, but
maybe they've traveled to 2024
right
at the same time that the DS9 crew is there.
So I feel like if they're willing to toss a few bucks at Brooks and Alexander Siddig and whoever wrote that episode, which I can't remember, they could Forrest Gump them in.
Oh,
they don't have to. No. They could just be in the background. Or they could be like, oh, hey, the Bell riots just happened. There's going to be, I think, some kind of reference there. And I think that is going to be
a reference to the Bell riots is a lot more likely than Avery Brooks being in this show.
Well, but Avery Brooks wouldn't have to come back and be in it. He could just be paid for the use of his likeness from the previous
that would be
episode.
interesting.
That's why I'm saying they forced Gump him in.
Okay.
The overlay from...
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know if you would go for that. But okay, so one thing...
You know what? I've got crazy ideas.
One thing that I loved was that in this alternate, like, late 24th, early 25th century, the comm badge is, like, giant. It made me think of what they have with Live Fast and Prosper, where the con people are in the Delta Quadrant impersonating Voyager crew.
It didn't look that big to me. That's funny.
Oh, I thought
the one
it looked
on Rios
pretty big, but I could be wrong. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said,
maybe there's a distortion.
In past tense, they did say by the early 2020s that there was a sanctuary district in every major city throughout the United States of America. So, I think that is an awesome deep cut, and I'm so stoked for that to see that. We're right around that time, right? So we're right around that time, and with people having been evacuated after COVID and whatnot, like evicted from their houses and stuff like that, how prevalent is that? That's pretty awesome. So I'm stoked about this. I'm looking forward to it. That's the kind of deep cut references that I'm here for, right? Past tense.
Definitely.
What an awesome one.
Past tense. Very cool. Yeah.
One other thing before I drop this, because I'm going to end up being wrong about it anyway, but the Bell riots are presented as a turning point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. That's the point at which people start to become more attentive to the needs of, the bottom classes, as it were.
Although World War III starts a couple years after, so it's interesting.
Well, okay.
But yeah.
But that might dictate what side you go in on in World War III, okay? Because, were it not for a few lucky electoral votes, we might have been on the German side in World War II, which is a whole other,
Okay.
But... Yeah, but so my point is, if part of what Q does is make it so that the Bell riots didn't happen, then that could set a tone that is more... that there was a leading toward fascism that the Bell riots pulled back on.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
uh-huh.
And then without the Bell riots, they're leaning harder into the fascism. So that's where I was going with that, and I'll just leave it there because we don't have a super lot of time.
I mean, it's interesting to think about. It's a good theory. But yeah.
We'll see.
It's exciting. Let's see it now. Oh, we have to wait 5 months, you say? Ugh.
Just too damn long.
They'll fly.
I know.
They'll fly. One other thing, having nothing to do with the Bell riots. If this ends up being the mirror universe...
I don't think it is.
I may throw something at my television.
I don't think it is. I think it's a different alternate timeline.
I hope it's not.
It's something different.
But just,
I think it's
I'll
different.
watch it. I'm not going to not watch it, but if it's mirror universe, I'm just... Oh.
I wanted to point out the one prediction that I made there, just on a small one there.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I tweeted it to you guys there. I think that's Picard's mom that we see in that image of that woman, right? Because
Yes, I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, because
it does look like a young Picard.
Yeah. We see him in that room, and then we see that woman with a young boy in that room, and then we see the impression of the trailer and the way it's edited is there when it cuts from old Picard in that room to a young kid, you're assuming that that's Picard. So I think we
that's
might
very
see
cool.
Yeah. That could play in well, because if that could be a spot that was attached to the house that was never, he never had it cleaned up properly after the fire. And so something prompts him to go in there, and he sees this thing from his childhood on the floor, which shouldn't be there after 90 years, 80 years. But yeah, that was my thought on it.
Yeah, lots of possibilities, but we'll see. Yeah. Exciting.
Baseless speculation. Is that what I called it last time? I don't remember. All right. Anything else? Final thoughts on Star Trek Day?
That was a lot of fun news that we got, and I'm super stoked. And Star Trek forever from now until the end of time, apparently, which is not too bad.
Give me the all-you-can-eat Star Trek buffet every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very exciting.
And listeners, we just touched on about half of what happened. So I really do suggest that you go and pull up the on demand, because it was pretty good. There was an orchestra, and there were nice comments about a lot of different elements of 90s Trek and things like that. So
how did you guys watch it? So like I said I didn't watch it, but how did you guys watch it?
On the Star Trek site.
On the Star Trek
site? On YouTube.
On YouTube?
Oh.
Okay.
But I think it's on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could get it from YouTube. And then it's supposed to be on the Paramount Plus app. Mm-hmm. But I didn't look before we got on. So
okay.
It was streaming on it. I found out halfway through watching it on YouTube. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Lots of options.
Great stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well,
pretty disappointed that we didn't get a DS9 on Blu-ray announcement there.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Someday this century, it will be in HD. We just don't know when.
The only other announcement that's pretty cool that's coming is just brief is the director's edition of the motion picture.
Yes, that's right.
Well.
And they had like a little teaser, and it looks amazing. It's like 10 seconds, but it looks incredible.
It's going to stream on Paramount Plus exclusively for a certain amount of months before it's on home video. And I'm still crossing my fingers that home video release is going to have the director's edition, the television cut, the theatrical cut. Like, I just hope it has all of the cuts of the film on it. So,
I love that you just called it home video.
Well, it is. It's a video, and it's in my home.
It's still video.
No, it is. I just love that. I love it. Okay.
Excellent.
Good.
No,
Yeah,
that's other than that,
good.
I'm
All
great.
right.
I'm good. So,
all right. So, listeners, we're not going to go through the whole spiel at the end. You know where to find us. All I'll say is tune into the next episode, because we're going to be talking about the episode of Lower Decks that just dropped today, An Embarrassment of Duplers. And boy, was it an embarrassment.
Oops, I duplicated.
Thanks for listening.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.